This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of the weekly podcast sanctioned by the government of Wonderland. Swear words of Class 4 and lower have been authorized for use during the podcast. All other swear words are restricted. Wonderland officials of ranking 10 have been granted immunity from the podcast and shall not be harmed. Commencing at the siren, any and all crime, including murder, will be legal for 2 continuous hours. Police, fire, and emergency medical services will be unavailable until the podcast concludes. Blessed be our Wonderland leaders in America, a nation reborn. LIW The Twilight Zone review is now in effect.
We're traveling to another dimension.
When I die, I wanna be high. Never worry, just bury me along with my currency.
You're entering the Twilight Zone.
Hey, yo. Okay, roll it again.
You're entering LIW The Twilight Zone review.
When I die, I wanna be high.
Hello, citizens. Welcome to LIW The Twilight Zone review, episode 288. This is for 2002's Twilight Zone, episode 137, the collection. I am flying solo here because we're supposed to record yesterday. Dick just got back from terrible, trashy Florida and Disney World and all that. Couldn't make it tonight. He's got some family thing. Frank is just a litany of issues, and I just don't even. I'm used to his weirdness. The weird things that happen in his life are just they're there. Yeah, he's got an internet problem. Anyway, so I'm flying solo. I just want to mention right off the bat that today's the 25th of August of 2021. On 8/15 of 2018, NyQuil and Cocaine debuted. I have barely done that show. I've only done a few episodes. I'm going to move the camera a little bit. Feels a little distant when I'm by myself. Feels a little weird. I'm not used to seeing myself in this giant screen. What am I going to do? Oh, man. Anyway, the collection. We get a treat with 2002 episodes in a row here, and it's a nice reprieve from all the night gallery we've had recently. And then it makes me realize next week is, I think, 2 night galleries, which I'll go over that at the end of the next episode. So if you're listening to the podcast, it'll be the next episode. I talk about that, what's on the docket for next week's live shows. We do 2 to 3 at a time, so figure it out. But yeah, this one, it started off, all I knew about it was about dolls, because if you go to IMDb and look at this episode, it's got the picture, the only picture, I think, maybe there's more, but it's just a little case of dolls. And I'm like, oh, great. Yay. Because we recently have done a few doll things, I feel like, because we did our R.L. Stine one. That was a doll house. That was a painting of a house. But we did a Creep Show episode about a girl in dollhouse. That was really good, though. This one, not so much. Let me get my banner on here. There we go. Now I feel like we're doing a show. But yeah, this one is a girl comes over to babysit for a young girl of 10, and the parents are like, whenever they do it in TVs, it's like, hey, welcome to our house. All right, that's over there. Here's this. Bye. In reality, I feel like they're going to show you more, like especially nowadays. But they're like, all right, here's our daughter. She's 10. Here's her color-coded book. You got to follow everything. Here's a list of her fears and phobias. Here's what she can eat. Here's her allergies. And it's all like this big fat book. Like she's going to go like talk through someone in NASA in the landing, something on Mars. It's just this big fat book. And she's like, okay, great. And I don't think she even looks at that book again. But then I realized, I'm like, that's Jessica Simpson. I'm not really that familiar with Jessica Simpson, but I was like, I'm pretty sure that's her. And then later on, a few minutes later, I was like, yeah, it's definitely her. Okay. And then I pull up the IMDb and I'm like, all right, it's been confirmed. That is, we get a Jessica Simpson alert, spotting in the wild back when she was doing things. I have no idea what that girl's up to now. She seems to be the only one who's gotten out of the spotlight altogether and kept her sanity from the looks of it. But, kudos to her, I guess. All right, so she's like, I bet you got a pretty room, to the girl after the parents leave. I don't know where the fuck the parents are going. I don't know if it even matters. I expected that to play into this episode, but no, it didn't. She goes upstairs to the girl's room. Immediately, she's like, she looks around. The girl's like, I picked out all the colors, and she's like, what's with the fucking dolls? You got like 75 dolls in there. What's up with those? It's in a locked cabinet. Can't help but notice all the attention here is drawn into the doll bookcase, doll case. I don't know what you call it. The display case for your 75 dolls there that are all very fashionable, and it doesn't appear like you play with them, and it's locked. That's a bit weird. And I was like, at this point, I even wrote my notes during this. Clearly, Jessica Simpson is going to get turned into a Barbie doll, and wasn't surprised when it did happen. Spoiler alert for this episode. I always want to start off. I always mean to start off with these episodes by going like, do I recommend it? This one, if you got time. If you got time, yeah. Sorry about that. The podcast listeners are going to hear me like trying to clear my. I was weeping violently before I started recording, just like sobbing, and I'm a bit, under the weather there because of all the weeping I was doing. What am I talking about? Oh, okay. So she looks at the dolls and she's like, "Oh, this is it." One of the dolls falls over, and she's like, "Oh, I was gonna go fix it, but it's locked." And the girl pulls out a key and they fix it. And I guess they don't lock it because they go downstairs. And she's making her notes. Jessica Simpson has like a note, and she's like, children who have been alone tend to develop their own. She's doing like psychology bullshit, and she's highlighting in her book. And then they go back upstairs, and then one of the dolls gets out. And the doll took the key, and she went and hid in the dark. And the little girl's naming facts about all these dolls. Like, this one loves chocolate. This one loves this or can't swim or something like that. And this one really hates other races and is an awful doll, and I hate this one. It's a neo-Nazi doll. I don't know why I bought it, but I have it. And then they found a broken cup, and the whole thing is basically Jessica Simpson's like psychoanalyzing this girl and just basically saying, yeah, the doll did it. Okay, I get it, little girl. Does the doll do it when your parents are home, or just when you're feeling abandoned? Did I do something to make you feel wrong? Look, I'm your friend, okay? I'm going to help you with this. Stop breaking shit under my watch, because your parents are not going to be happy, and I kind of want some more money out of them. I want this to be a gig. And the little girl's is like, no, the doll did it. The doll did it. And by the end, when you find out what happens, why the fuck is she acting so terrified? Whatever. She trips and cuts her hand on something, and Jessica Simpson's like, "Oh my god, let me call your parents." And she literally calls the parents, who are like off in their fucking swingers retreat, whatever the hell they're doing that night. And she's like, "Hey, I just want, no, she's fine. I just want to." She cut herself. No, it's not that bad of a cut. It's just I want to know where your first aid kit is. And I'm like, bitch, you didn't even look. You didn't even attempt to find it. Look under the cabinet in the bathroom. Something. You ask the little girl where it is. She's 10. She's gonna know where that is. Little kids love Band-Aids. They know where that shit is. So don't call the parents right away. That does not look good on you. If I have a freaking 20-something-year-old watching my kid, and they call me within the first 45 minutes and ask where shit is, and I'm like, did you even look? Did you even look? Did you take a gander around in the cabinets? I don't even care if you go through my fucking my wife's panty drawer. Just fucking sift through that shit and just find something. You'll find wrap around like fucking Rambo. Just and fucking tie it off. I don't care what you do. Do not call me. Do not call me. If her head is still attached to her body, I don't want to have a phone call. Do what you got to do other than that. Decapitation or less, do not call me for. You are wasting my time and my Viagra that I took before I went to the swingers party with my wife. We have not been out in ages. Okay, sweetie, I'm sorry. I'll think about you tonight when I'm with my wife. But you gotta stop calling me. But yeah, she doesn't even try. I don't know if she gets the information, but they just cut away to that from that. All the dolls, they go back upstairs. All the dolls are out of the cabinet. Every single one of them. The cabinets are open. She's like, she must have came up and let them all out of the house. And let them all out of their bookshelf or whatever the fuck it is, their cabinet. And she's like, what do you do with the dolls, bitch? And I'm like, You've been with her the whole time. She did not have time to take them all out. And you were just up there with her. She has been in the room with you downstairs. And now you go upstairs for the first time. And now all the dolls are gone. How are you this dumb? She's not clued into anything. And then she goes, the babysitter has a line where she goes, Shelly's the doll that's getting out and causing on the mischief that the little girl's saying. She goes, Shelly is not Cindy Bristow. She's not just walking around. Shelly's a doll, not Cindy Bristow. And I was like, who the fuck is Cindy Bristow? Am I supposed to know who that is? I'm going to look her up right now. I have no idea who that is. Cindy Bristow. No. Sydney Bristow? She's on the show Alias. That's probably what it meant. That's probably what she meant. I don't know. That's a weird reference, as well as mentioning the fact that she liked to watch Buffy with one of her dolls, because that's also shown UPN at this time. It looks like this Twilight Zone series. But anyway, all the dolls are out. There's 13 minutes into the episode until she finally believes her that these dolls are real, because they're like all over the banister and the stairs, and they keep moving around in the living room. And one of them fucking shoves a pot off a shelf and smashes on the ground. She looks up and sees it. And she's like, all right, I need to call your parents. And she's walking around. She's like grabbing the dolls, but throwing them at the other dolls, and like grabbing one doll and like using it as a baseball bat to swat the other ones away. I'm like, bitch, just grab a fucking trash bag. Grab a plastic trash bag. Grab a Walmart bag. Grab a pillowcase. I don't care what you grab. Just there we go. Tie the fucker up. All right. Put this in a box or I don't know, fucking something. I don't understand why she can't. They're dolls. What is the issue here? How are you struggling this much against dolls? I don't understand movies about dolls. Like Chucky gets away with it because he goes and hides before you realize he's evil. And he always fails if you find out he's evil too early. He never can get you after that. So, whatever. It's the episode. I get it. The little girl runs up and hides in the closet. Jessica Simpson's looking for her. She goes up there. All the dolls are converging on their location like a fucking doll SWAT team. So, little doll fists. And yeah, they're doing that shit. And then they go up to the closet door, and then the little girl pulls Jessica Simpson into the closet. And I'm like, oh, this is not going to end well for you, Jessica Simpson. Close the doors in the closet, and you see all the dolls, like all the shadows, like Puppet Master movie. Someone literally holding some guy off screen going, here's a doll, spooky, spooky doll. And she's like, what? And I don't know where this fucking wallet comes into play. And she's like, that's mine. Where do you find it? She slaps it out of the babysitter's hand, falls on the ground, and they start rifling through it. Babysitter starts going through it. And it's all these IDs of all these people she mentioned, and all their facts. Like, oh, you mentioned this girl likes chocolate, and this girl hates swimming or loves swimming. I forget which. This girl loves Buffy. All these names you mentioned. It's all these IDs. And she's like, the dolls weren't here to scare us. They're here to warn me. And then it like cuts to the little girl, and it cuts back to Jessica Simpson, and she goes, the dolls are here to warn me. I'm like, what the fuck? Did we just go back to commercial break? There was no cut there. It was very bizarre repeating of dialogue for no reason. And then the little girl's like, I wish you didn't find that. I'm so sorry. You're going to hate me. And she hugs her, and she's like, we got to get out of here. Like, I got to call your parents. We got to tell them what's going on, and we got to go. And then the little girl's like, oh, you shouldn't have said that, bitch. You dumb bitch. Oh, you're such a bitch. And then like Jessica Simpson they do a bad special effect where she's like, whoa, and she turns into a doll in one weird pixelated nightmare, and it cuts away, and it's just the little girl by herself. And then the parents get home, and dad's on the phone like, this is the third babysitter in a row that from your service that's abandoned my daughter in the middle of the night, like middle of the day. What the fuck? She could have died. Like, she's only 10 years old. I want to speak to your manager. And I'm like, why do you keep going back after the first two, even after the first one? You know, there's some weird like escort service for babysitter service that you're calling. I've never heard of a babysitter service. I've never heard of that in my life. Is that a real thing? Has anyone ever heard of that? Maybe that Maybe back in the day, I don't know. It was just always like who in my circle of friends knows someone who's not on drugs right now and is willing to make $15 for the night. That's usually who I was babysitted by. And drugs, I'm not on drugs right now, was lower on the list of requirements. Like she's using, but she just got out of rehab, so she knows how to be sober, but she's not now. So yeah, fairly responsible back in the day. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, the dad keeps going back to that place, and like, isn't that the definition of insanity? Just keep doing the same thing while expecting different results. This is the third time, motherfucker. This is on you at some point. I'm sorry. And then the obvious ending with the little girl's putting her dolls away, and the mom's like, "These are all over the house," and she gives them back to her. I'm like, why didn't the dolls leave after that? I don't know. They just stayed around. They just like, we failed. I'll go into Toy Story mode when the parents are around, the mom's around, and they get put back in the case, and then she's like, "I got a new friend for you. It's Jessica Simpson doll," and it cuts to her, and they show her face, and I couldn't stop laughing. I'm gonna show it here because it made me go, Matt Damon. It reminded me of that because it is hilarious how this doll looks. I'm pulling it up right now. It's going to take me a second to find, but it is fantastic doll work. All right. Here we go.
You all be nice to her.
Matt Damon. Look at the eyes. What's wrong with that fucking left eye? What is wrong with this? This eye's all tiny. This one's twice the size and like falling down into the skull. How do you fuck it up that bad? It's the reveal of your episode. It's the whole episode's leading to this shot. In which, if you're paying attention, you know it's going to show this. You know that's going to happen right off the bat. But I don't want the doll to be this fucking derpy looking. It looks awful. Whoever made this doll should have been fired on the spot. It is terrible. Jessica Simpson. Like, it's awful. Anyway, that's the episode. I gave it a 6. It's not good. It's better than the next episode, though. I'll say that. I'm trying to look up any other facts about this. There's really not much online for the 2002 series, which is the correct decision. I'm a part of the Facebook group, The Twilight Zone, which is people just, sharing their love of Twilight Zone. And I notice people, I don't know why they do this. They associate everything that Rob was a part of as better because Rob was a part of it. And I don't always agree with that. So they say like the 2002 version's the worst. And they're like, I fucking love 85 version and Night Gallery. And I'm like, Night Gallery's fucking garbage. And that show is it's borderline unwatchable for me. And the other guys on the show too. So it's not just me. And so they think this version's the worst. And I'm like, I thought so too when I was younger coming up, because I remember watching this going, ooh, this is cheesy. But turns out I like them in reverse order, like 2002 and then 85 and then Night Gallery. And obviously the original show is the best. But yeah, I look forward to the 2002 episodes because the worst they're going to be is just kind of boring. And the worst a Night Gallery is going to be is like soul-sucking boredom and irritation. And the 85 is like the worst that's going to be is like annoying characters and like 80s cliches, or like it looks like a Zales commercial, like that Arcelina's dying episode where you're like, oh, this is so dated. This looks awful. This looks so cheap. But that's the worst you're going to get on that show. So yeah, fuck Night Gallery, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I remember liking that show as a kid, like some segments, but we have not done any of those episodes that I remember fondly. Or if I did, I'm a fucking idiot, which is also probably true, but I just don't get the passion. Just because Rod's name was on it, Rod wasn't even a fan of Night Gallery at a certain point. I just don't. You have to judge it for what it is, not for what you want it to be. And I'm judging the shows for what they are and if they're irritating. This one is just kind of middle of the road, so I gave it a 6. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. I predicted it early. I don't really hold against it as much if I was able to predict the ending as some people. because I kind of go, I watch a lot of shit. I watch a lot of shit. So I'm not going to hold that against the show, who's just made for the passing UPN viewer back in 2002, 2003. So I'm not going to hold it against the writing of it. But this one was fairly obvious from the beginning, but I didn't have to sit there and watch it in full because I'm sitting there laughing so hard at some points where Jessica Simpson's like, the dolls are like, it's just one like on a banister, like it's so fucking bizarre. It kind of made me laugh at certain points, but not the way it was going for. It wasn't a comedy episode. It was just dumb. It reminded me of a child or a Puppet Master movie, rather, which we've done several episodes of Puppet Master. And this is our tying it together because I have my Puppet Master toy down here, which I want to grab, but also I don't want to walk across here on camera if I'm the only one here and grab it. But I have a little pinhead dude that I always said was this guy on the back, where he looks like Forest Whitaker in this on that image. But yes, we got our tie-in finally. But yeah, you can skip this one. You don't really need to watch it. It reminds me more of an episode of like R.L. Stein show, like Goosebumps or The Haunting Hour or something like that, than it does an actual Twilight Zone, because there's no creepiness to it, and it's formulaic, and it felt like it was made for 12-year-olds more than an adult, or even like a 17-year-old would be bored by this. So in the end of the day, who's it for? If it's for 12-year-olds, why is it the Twilight Zone episode? So I get why you would, if you said you hated this episode, I get kind of why if you go that route. But as far as story structure goes, it's harmless. It's inoffensive. It's just it doesn't stick around long enough to be boring though. But let me get out of here because I'm rambling. LIWstudios.com, Loitering in Wonderland on YouTube. Usually Tuesday nights, we do LIW The Twilight review. This show, live, 10 p.m. Eastern. And then on Sunday nights, we do LIW Anthology Series review and B-Movie Battle / Nick Cage cast. We've been doing a lot of Nick Cage movies lately. Some good ones, some really good ones, actually. And that's not sarcastic. We also did A Score to Settle this last week. Next week is Honeymoon in Vegas versus Leaving Las Vegas. So his two of his Vegas movies with Vegas in the title. That's going to be this Sunday, 10 p.m. Eastern live shows. You can check all that out, even the live episode recording schedule on LIWstudios.com. Here is the outro, though. Until next time, in the meantime, I'm Phoenix West. This outro is going to mention all the co-hosts, and none of them are good enough to show up today. So just ignore that part of it.
Citizens of Wonderland, rejoice in the fact that we have covered another episode on the podcast. Go to LIWstudios.com for more videos and podcasts. Subscribe to Loitering in Wonderland on YouTube. Check out the Indie Sports Car podcast and Way Off Topic Radio. Search on Amazon for books by Richard Pierce. Until next time, and in the meantime, we are Phoenix West, Frank Lynx, and Dick Dickett. So long, citizens. All hail glorious conformity. All hail our glorious leader. Shut off the fucking podcast now. This is not a test. This
But it was a test because my audio wasn't recording. Be right back and restart that. Failure.
This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of the weekly podcast sanctioned by the government of Wonderland. Swear words of Class 4 and lower have been authorized for use during the podcast. All other swear words are restricted. Wonderland officials of ranking 10 have been granted immunity from the podcast and shall not be harmed. Commencing at the siren, any and all crime, including murder, will be legal for 2 continuous hours. Police, fire, and emergency medical services will be unavailable until the podcast concludes. Blessed be our Wonderland leaders in America, a nation reborn. LIW The Twilight Zone review is now in effect.
You're traveling to another dimension.
When I die, I wanna be high. Never worry, just bury me along with my currency.
You're entering the Twilight Zone.
Hey, yo. Okay, roll it again.
You're entering LIW The Twilight Zone. Review.
When I die, I wanna be high.
Hello, citizens. Welcome to LIW The Twilight Zone Review, episode 289 for TZ2002's 105 Cradle of Darkness. And this is not the episode I thought it would be. Cradle of Darkness, I just thought it would be more of a mental, kind of like someone losing their grip on sanity, just based off the title, Cradle of Darkness, cradling darkness. I don't know, like, they're cradling their sanity. It's teeter-tottering or something. I don't know what I was expecting, but I did not expect a literal cradle for Hitler's baby crib. I didn't expect it to be that. It's literally a cradle of darkness because Hitler is dark and evil and blah, blah, blah. Not blah, blah, blah. I don't believe he was evil or not. I'm just saying so forth. Didn't expect those kind of heavy themes in this episode. That was not addressed in a heavy manner at all. This episode is fucking stupid. It is fucking stupid. This is from 2002, but it feels like an 85 episode. So much so that I had to think. I'm looking back on it, and it looks like an 85 episode, and it feels like an 85 episode, but it stars Katherine Heigl, who for some reason is the person that they chose to go back in time to weed out wee baby Hitler. And it begins with her in the present, or whatever the fuck that is. And she's apparently part of some sort of weird time cop / 12 Monkeys time travel company. And she's like, I'm ready to go back. She stands there and goes back. And it's like, what's it? I don't know how to pronounce this. Braunau, Austria, Braunau, however that's pronounced in Austrian, German, however that's pronounced, I guess is the point. She immediately throws up all over the place. All I could think about at this point was 12, or not 12 Monkeys, but time cop references. We're talking about the twins hitting the wall. I want to see some sort of cool time travel thing, and no, it's just like, I'm here. Oh, I'm here. And luckily for her, everyone speaks English there. Because if you're going to do a time travel thing where she goes to a different country, do not have them speak both German and English. Because they're like, Avita saying, oh, hello, how are you today? Like, catches me off guard. Like, at least the movie, what was that fucking Tom Cruise movie that Christopher McQuarrie did and Bryan Singer? What the fuck was in it? Valkyrie. where at least it starts off with Tom Cruise reading German and it slowly transitions to English, and you kind of get the point that they're going to be speaking English, but really it's supposed to be German. That's the point of that transition. This is just German, German, German. Oh, hello, how are you? Over here, German, German word. I guess we're going to go over here, English word. And it's like, why? Stop going back and forth. It's they're doing the accents, and Katherine Heigl's trying. I don't know why she's trying, but she's trying to do an accent. I don't like Katherine Heigl, I guess would be the point, is what I'm trying to say. She's awful. Can't stand that lady. But I guess her job is she's going to go pretend to be Hitler's little baby, the wee baby Hitler's au pair, or like, nurse or something, taking care of the wee baby Hitler. And she goes to the house. She meets the mom. She meets the dad. She meets the bad. And there you have the facts of life. The facts of life. Facts of snuffing out a baby life. No, but she meets the mom, and who fucking cares about the order of who she meets first? But the point is, the dad is James Remar, and who I struggled with his name on a previous B-movie battle episode. I kept calling him something else. I don't know why. James Rebhorn, I think, is what I called him. But James Remar, better known to everyone on the fucking planet as Dexter's dad, who shall hereforth be known as Hitler's dad, because he plays the wee baby Hitler's dad. And he's like, we lost 3 children before this, and she's just distraught, my wife, and she'd be ruined if we lost another baby. And they're just setting up, like, he's basically just like essentially going, please do not kill my baby. It would suck a lot if you were to snuff out this baby's life. Do not do it. I couldn't take it. Anyway, here's my baby. Don't kill it. Here you go. Again, don't kill it. Don't eat it or anything. Don't do anything weird. Yeah, just keep it alive, right? Keep it alive, because the 3 previous ones, not alive. This one, very alive. Like to keep it that way. Anyway, here you go, bro. Oh, but in German. That was a cough covering a sneeze, covering, I don't know what the fuck else that was. I'm so sorry. Holy shit. I think I just had an aneurysm. I'm thinking of Hitler's dad and just calling him that. And I don't think anyone's going to know what I'm talking about. But he's not Dexter's dad anymore. He's Hitler's dad. Because this is a roll and a half. Point is, okay, sorry. I'm trying to get my voice back after that fucking weird throat explosion I had. She goes, Katherine Heigl's character, whatever the fuck her name is, who cares? She goes and she looks after the wee baby Hitler. And she's literally looking at him in his crib. And I'm like, you're a time traveler. It seems like you can go back whenever you want. Just literally go, here's my dagger. Right in the forehead. Go back your time. You're good. Right? You're good. But it's the Twilight Zone. You got to realize any chance to change the history or change the past in the Twilight Zone never works out. They've tried this storyline several times in the original series of going back to kill Hitler. That one guy, No Time Like the Past, and that other episode, that hour, I forget that's the hour long one, if the other one is. There's 2 of them that are the same fucking episode as one's really long and boring. But he goes to like the Lusitania, and he goes to Pearl Harbor, or not Pearl Harbor, but he goes to Nagasaki or one of those places, and he tries to warn him, and it never fucking works out. You cannot stop Hitler from being around. And I got it on that show because it was 20 years after Hitler. It was relevant, very relevant. Now, or 2002 rather, not as relevant, still important. Don't get me wrong. Do not get me wrong. I am anti-Hitler, if I could say, and no any clearer words, anti-Hitler pretty much over here. I guess this is the stance of the podcast as well. I had some good ideas, but couldn't carry through. No, but he definitely should have been put down. And personally, if I went back, I would just go like, well, let me say what she does, and let me say what I would do. She's like, she gets to one point where she's alone with the baby, and she's just like, puts the baby, and she goes and she's talking. She goes to a fucking priest and talks to him, or a rabbi, I think it was, and talks to him. And now what I would do, oh my God, this is a baby. This is a human life. I can't believe I've already stabbed this baby in the face 5 times. I can't believe this baby's dead and I'm holding it still. The blade is making the baby's head turn to the side because the blade is so heavy compared to the light baby's head. He's just looking off over here. I'm not killing a baby. I'm saving millions and millions of lives because I understand how this shit works. I'm sorry. It's gonna suck for me to kill a baby, but I'm stabbing that motherfucker right in both eyes. I don't give a shit. I'm not leaving a chance for that thing to survive this. Sorry, gonna do it. That's assuming I agree with the fact that you can change history and it should be changed, because maybe you go back and you kill Hitler and then the timeline changes and it says all on fucking nuclear war because some countries didn't get together and they fucking hate each other. The Cold War's way worse. You don't know what the fuck you're gonna change, and that's kind of why you don't want to change this shit. But given my opportunity, both Hitler eyes. I don't give a shit. I don't care. The baby's so stabbed. It's gonna be Swiss cheese by the time I'm done with it. It's gonna like a fucking those things you stick your needles in. Like it's real dead. It's gonna look like a pinhead with different knives in it. I don't give a shit. And this woman was clearly not the choice that they should have used to send someone back in time to kill baby Hitler. When they really should have it. I don't know what they did, but they should have had a better vetting process with who were we going to send back. The emotional lady who appears to have a real problem stabbing a baby. They needed to have like, okay, this is very important. Here's one baby. Stab that fucker in the face. Someone stabbed a random baby. Okay, you're clearly going to kill Hitler, baby. You're the fuck back there. Sorry to this one baby. That sucks, but you're going to save millions of lives. And that's a really shitty scenario, I realize, but kind of important if you're going to save millions. 1 versus millions, you know what I mean? Or 2, I guess, because the first baby and then baby Hitler. And then whoever you got to kill on the way out, like it's a Hitman game. If you get caught, you got to start popping headshots off. I don't know, but, some sort of vetting process. Instead of just being like, you don't like Hitler, huh? Good enough for me. You're everyone who's not, wearing a hood. Okay, you go back. She immediately folds under the pressure, is my point. At one point, I did notate nothing is going to happen for a long while. And I was right until she was standing there at the crib and she's just like, I can't fucking do it. And I was like, bitch, millions of lives. Millions. Literally millions. I wouldn't think twice. Like, by the time I was starting to have second thoughts, I would have been like, oh, it's already embedded in his skull. Oh, it sucks. But it's wee baby Hitler. Sorry, dude. I'm sorry to this baby who has no idea what it's going to become, but shit happened already for you. You're not someone who they convinced back in time where they sent you messages or anything, and you got to make that decision. That would be difficult because you're like, maybe history will play out differently. You're the person who knows that shit's happening. It will happen and did happen. It happened. And now you got to, yeah, sorry. I'm Mr. Stabby back then. And then fucking whoever else comes in the room, I'll deal with them. I don't give a shit. No, she chickens out. She goes to talk to a rabbi and it's like, he's like, only God can decide who dies or can take a life. Which, of course, a priest would say because our priests or rabbis are pussies. Fucking, I wish it would have been a much more fascinating episode if he was like, oh, yeah, stab the wee baby Hitler in the face. We did that with the previous 3 kids. Yeah, those kids are doomed. Time travelers coming back in droves to kill those Hitler kids. Please. Yeah, they're like cockroaches. We got to lay out traps for them. They're fucking everywhere. They keep committing genocide throughout time, and we just got to keep coming back. And they all come in here and they confess, and I'm like, yeah, just do it, man. Just do it. I get it, bro. It's the one time I give a pass is when they mention the Hitler name. Oh, yeah, go for it, man. No, but she can't do it. She goes and she talks to Hitler's dad, who Alois, or what the fuck is his name? What's James Remar's name? Yeah, Alois, Aloy. I don't know how you pronounce that. Aloy, whatever. Mr. Hitler, Hitler's dad. Do I call him I kind of think of Adolf. I almost call him Alfred Hitler. That was weird. Adolf's dad. Doesn't sound as good as Dexter's dad or Hitler's dad. But she goes and talks to him, and he's like, I mean, I gotta take care of my children. I don't want my son to die. I'm glad you haven't killed him yet, but we gotta find a way to get back. If I get a job, I'm gonna go to Germany. It's a great place there. We got to get these Aryan people together and rise. Fuck these fucking gypsies and the Jews. And she's like, oh God, what? And she's like surprised that his dad was that way. Why are you surprised? And it makes it sound like she's gonna kill his ass, and that's gonna be the point. Is like, I can't kill the baby, and I can murder this motherfucker. He knows exactly what he's doing and saying. I'm gonna kill this guy. I'm gonna make his face Swiss cheese with knives. I'm gonna definitely taking this guy out. But no, she has a conversation, and she like does that like a cartoon where she does the dun 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 sort of thing, and then it just cuts to her walking up the stairs, and then they show James Remar. He gets home, and they're having a big celebration, and she's like, the other nurse is like, I don't trust that new girl. She gives me the weird vibes. And they go upstairs, and the baby's gone, and then we see Katherine Heigl running with the fucking baby, and she drops a key as if that mattered. And then she goes to the bridge, and she has the baby in her arms, and then the other nurse is like, "Don't do it!" And Katherine Heigl falls into the river and drowns the baby. I don't know if it was the nurse or the mom. I don't know. Who fucking cares? They look exactly the same. Or it was one character. I don't know. Wasn't paying the greatest of attention to that character, I will admit. Every time she was on screen, I kind of... because I was like, I'm fucking bored. I was bored throughout this, and I wasn't as focused as I should have been. I get it. It's on me, but the episode made me feel that way. I even rewound because I missed the part where after wee baby Hitler was drowned, the woman, they've been showing this baby, this gypsy woman, as James Remar called her, coming up and be like, I need money for my baby. And Katherine Heigl giving the money, and then James Remar goes, get the fuck out of here, you fucking gypsy, you scum. Genocide you. He does that whole thing. One nation, that sort of thing. And then after Katherine Heigl jumps off with the baby, the only way she could do it is if she killed herself with it. Kind of get that, whatever. But then they go and they buy the baby from the gypsy lady and bring it back to the house, and they give it to the mom, and she's like, okay. There's that sneeze that was being held off at arm's length for so long. It finally came out. But she's like, has the baby, and I was watching, and I was like, she jumped off the bridge. I looked down, and I was just looking around, and I was like, oh. And what I saw was her looking at the baby going, this is my baby. But I was like, fake baby, the first one? And then it's got a new baby, and the other baby was in the real room. And then I rewound, and I saw they bought the gypsy lady's baby. And I was like, all right, there you go. I missed that. That's on me. I get it. But I caught it. So they bought a new baby, and then fucking, here's the ending. Let's show the ending of the episode, because it is something. Because he comes in after the wee baby Hitler, and the new wee baby Hitler baby has been replaced. And then he acts like he's on set, but he's totally on green screen. But let's share that now. So, new wee baby Hitler, gypsy baby. And this, see, it's not the mom. Why would the mom be wearing a maid's outfit? It's very confusing.
A moment of silence for Andrea Collins. She sacrificed.
Spooky. You get it, right? You get it. There's my recording device. But you get it. You can't change history. She made Hitler. She should have killed the gypsy lady's baby. She basically funded part of Hitler's beginnings because she gave the mom some money. The ending doesn't work, but it did catch me off guard. I did not expect him to buy a fucking gypsy baby off the streets. How cool. I wouldn't have predicted that, because why the fuck would I? I assumed it was going to be the ending where she doesn't kill the baby, but she kills the dad, and then the dad being dead is what created Hitler, created Adolf into what he is. Or she takes the baby and steals him for a year, gets caught, has the baby taken back, and that's what makes him what he, something that she's directly causing it. But her drowning a secondary baby and then replacing Adolf with another baby was not what was on my mind at that time. So I guess I'll give it kudos for that. Because that's all I can give it kudos for. But other than that, it was fucking boring. I don't know why they tried to do the accents. I don't know why they tried to do anything. And they killed a baby in this episode, just not the right baby. So I guess kudos to that. I don't know how you give kudos to a dead baby, but yeah. So I guess if it was me and I stabbed that baby, it wouldn't have mattered because I got to get on going like a 5-mile radius baby killing spree to prevent any possible adopted Hitlers. I think you got to burn that house down with the family tied to the bed, like a Insidious movie, or what's the fucking Ethan Hawke movie that he did with Bagul? That with the kids kill the parents, they tie them to the bed and burn the house down. I think you gotta do some shit like that. Sinister, that's what it's called. I think you gotta do shit like that, where it's just like they can't adopt any more kids if they're not around. Fuck it. At this point, the whole Hitler family's getting wiped off the map. I'm sorry. It's worth it. You could burn that whole fucking town down in Austria. You could kill every single person in that town back then and still save millions of lives. And that's a fucked up scenario to be in. And I'd totally do it. I would go house to house like some sort of weird Grim Reaper salesman and just sell them death and just burn everyone in their house. I don't know. I might sit, which I almost think you're doing genocide at some level, but it's genocide at a lesser volume. Am I supporting genocide? No. Oh man, I painted myself in a corner here. How do I get out of this? So next week on the podcast, next week on the live show, I should say, is going to be, we are doing Night Gallery 302, The Girl with the Hungry Eyes, and Night Gallery 218A, The Waiting Room. That'll be next on the live stream, which is Tuesday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern. Usually I got co-hosts and I'm not rambling about genocide by myself, usually. But we are doing those next week on the podcast. It'll be episode 290 and 291. If you're listening to the podcast but not the video show, you're not watching the video show, go check out the video show. It's on LIW or Loitering in Wonderland on YouTube. Go check those out. You can see them all on LIWstudios.com as well as the other shows we do. Because Sunday nights we do LIW Anthology Series Review, which is a different anthology show every week. Right now we're getting through some weird ones. Like next week is going to be a Creep Show, which we've done before, but then it's Lee Martin's The Midnight Hour, which just looks awful. Then we're doing Inside Number 9 and the Creep Show again, but then Ray Bradbury Theater, One Step Beyond, 2 Sentence Horror Stories, and Beyond Belief Factor Fiction, which is something I'm fond of. Yeah, a lot of different shows in there, and then we follow that up on the live show by doing the B Movie Battle / Nick Cage Cast. This upcoming week is going to be Honeymoon in Vegas versus Leaving Las Vegas, the 2 Nick Cage movies. Week after that is Valley Girl 83 versus Valley Girl 2020. Week after that is Snake Eyes versus Looking Glass. A bunch of versus episodes in a row. And it's a fun show. We make fun of Nick Cage or give him credit where it's due, because we've done a long string of episodes where he's solid in it. Last week, unfortunately, we did A Score to Settle, and he's not very good in that. But we did like Adaptation and The Rock and Pig and just a few good movies in a row. And we're like, God damn, he can act. But then we got to do a score to settle. And yeah. But next week, we're doing his Oscar-winning movie. So who knows? Yeah, those are Sunday nights. All of our live shows are 10 p.m. Eastern. Loitering in Wonderland on YouTube. What else do I got to say about this episode? I gave it a 4. I keep meaning to start off with recommendations or not, and I forgot again for the billionth fucking time. I don't know if I've ever done it correctly. I give it a 4. I do not recommend watching this. It's not as bad as the original series time travel ones. I don't think just because it's original series and Rod was involved and wrote it that it's necessarily better. I don't like his time travel ones. I love time travel, and I just don't like his because for some reason they come out really fucking boring, and the whole message is can't change the past. And this has the same message as we just heard from Forest Whitaker. You can't change the past. I get that, but at least this one moved along. It wasn't like repeating the exact same steps over and over and failing. Yeah, I could see if you like the original ones more than this, but for me, this one, I'd rather watch this again because it was just they kill a fucking baby in it, and I didn't expect them to actually do that. And it's just you got James Remar, and unfortunately you got Katherine Heigl, but you got Hitler's dad / Dexter's dad. Uh, you got something into enjoying this, and the original ones, not so much. There's really nothing going on. They're all boring and like fucking John Wilkes Booth. Those episodes, like, it's so boring. It's time travel. It should be amazing. It should be great just based on the concept alone. But no, you're just watching it like time travel. Why is this boring? This should be good. Time Cop's amazing. This should be good. But yeah, let me get out of here. LIWstudios.com, Loitering in Wonderland on YouTube. Don't recommend this episode. So until next time, in the meantime, I'm Phoenix West. You're going to hear the outro here. It's going to mention Dick and Frank. Both of them too good to be here tonight. Ignore their names. Pretend they don't exist. And we'll all have better, happy lives. But let me pull up the outro here and get the fuck out of here. Any moment now. There we go. Found it. Bye.
Citizens of Wonderland, rejoice in the fact that we have covered another episode on the podcast. Go to LIWstudios.com for more videos and podcasts. Subscribe to Loitering in Wonderland on YouTube. Check out the Indie Sports Car podcast and Way Off Topic Radio. Search on Amazon for books by Richard Pierce. Until next time, and in the meantime, we are Phoenix West, Frank Lynx, and Dick Dickett. So long, citizens. All hail glorious conformity. All hail our glorious leader. Shut off the fucking podcast now.
If you're still hanging around, I don't know why, because we're done. Next week's 2 Night Gallery episodes. After that is going to be 2002-113 Upgrade and Night Gallery 217B, The Ghost of Sorworth Place. And then the week after that is TZ85's The Road Less Traveled, The Night Gallery She'll Be Company for You. And then after that, the next week is 2002 Sensuous Cindy, which someone on Twitter was really raving about, and 2002's Shades of Guilt, which I don't know what that's about. Week after that is, the last one I'm going to say, is Charles Beaumont and Richard Matheson script, 1962's Burn Witch Burn. Someone on Twitter requested that we do that movie next. We are. It's just not going to be until September 28th. That's the plan as of now. But then we're following that up with Night Gallery Big Surprise and 2002's Sanctuary. So, thanks for tuning in to my solo live show. It lasted less than an hour because it's a lot quicker if you don't have Frank telling you weird World War II or Carfax or do-do-do-do's and bullshit. And then Dick's not here to talk about movies with me. Jansen's not here to be negative about fucking everything. Jansen. Just me, just little old me flying solo. But thanks for tuning in. Have a great night. Have a great life. Don't end it. Stab the wee baby Hitler if you get a chance. Bye.